Welcome, it's a great day to be a miner because we got some new hardware, baby. We're gonna unbox this thing, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna go over the specs, the features, and all that fun jazz. But first, let's spin that intro. Yeah, and we're back, and we finally got one of these, and you're probably asking yourself, what's in the box? But you already know what's in the box because you saw the thumbnail and read the description, and you're smart people. But anyway, I digress. We're gonna open this thing up. Without further ado, you know what time it is, baby. RGB knife. All right, so first and foremost, where did we get this? This came from Bitcoin Merch. Let's go ahead and do our disclaimer. We want to say thank you to Bitcoin Merch for providing us this item for review free of charge. That being said, this is not a paid sponsorship. That means the opinions of this video are that of my own. All right, so first and foremost, let's get that out of the way. What comes right on the top? As always, they give us a nice little Bitcoin and some nice sticker. This one says Modern Miners. It's a cute little turtle mining Bitcoin. And of course, we've got the real Venezuelan Bolivar fiat bill. And it basically says that the Venezuelan money is worth nothing. And the reason for that is because of hyperinflation and because they've pumped so much money. And it's basically telling you that decentralization and crypto is the way to go. So let's get the packing slip out of here. Now let's take a look at the prize. The prize! Anyway, okay. There you go. What do we got? We got a NerdQaxe Plus Super Mega Ultra Rare Bit Solo Player Miner. And we picked this up, of course, from Bitcoin Merch. So let's open the box and just see how it looks right out of the gate. So there is that. Let's pull out our power supply. There's our plug. There is our brick. Our brick says Bit Solo Player. It is a 12 volt 10 amp. So 12 volt compared to the other power supplies for the regular bitaxe. Regular bitaxe, I believe, is a 5 volt or 6 volt. So I'll have to fact check that one. It's either 5 volt or 6 volt. I think it's 5 volt, and most of them come with 6 amps, so 30 watt power supplies. This is 12 volt 10 amps, so do the math, 120 watts. So this is a 120 watt power supply because, of course, this is a big boy miner compared to a regular bitaxe. You're gonna see, look at this guy. Oh, oh. Had to use a forklift to get that thing out of there. So it's packed really well, all foam entombed, straight from, I guess it's Bit Solo Player. And we're gonna take a close-up look at this guy real quick, and then we'll go over the specs, the features, and then of course we're gonna set this thing up and get it mining. Man, this thing is a chunky boy compared to a bitaxe. Here's a bitaxe Gamma on a big robot display, and the display is about as wide, but the bitaxe itself is only this wide compared to this giant board with this giant setup. So without further ado, let's take a close-up look. Go. Okay, so real quick, let's go over the specs, and as you can see, the size is probably about 3x that of a regular bitaxe Gamma or bitaxe Ultra or whatever. The fan on it, look at the fan size of this thing. This fan is a Thermalright, and it's a high pressure static fan. You have the big NerdAxe display, where instead of the itty bitty display on the regular bitaxe Gamma, you have your barrel jack connector at the top. It has 3 heat sinks right here on some of the power delivery. It's got a massive heat sink right below the fan here. It does come on a very nice 3D printed style stand. The back, the way that this cooler is mounted more like a CPU would be, with a CPU cooler with actual 4 points of contact with the pressure evenly distributed across the chips, because the difference between this and this This has 4 of these chips. The chips in this is the BM1370 ASIC chips. So this one has 1. So basically this has 4. It's 4 times the horsepower. This is normally 1.2 is what they advertise it as. This one is advertised as 4.8 terahash on 80 watts. Bitcoin merch listed as 5 terahash. And there's a reason for that, is that the hash rate kind of fluctuates depending on how much it's overclocked, what kind of silicon you get. You might get really good chips, you might get just kind of meh chips. As long as you can keep these things cool, including the power delivery, you can really overclock them just like a bitaxe. So it's pretty impressive. So the weight on this thing is chunky too. It's not just the size, it's the weight. This thing is heavy duty compared to this little guy. So next we're gonna just go ahead and set this thing up and get it mining and see how easy this process goes. See if it's as easy as our bitaxes. If you want the full in-depth setup that we do on our bitaxes, just check out that video up above. I'm sure it's gonna be the exact same type of setup. We'll plug it in, we'll get it mining, we'll connect it to the Wi-Fi rather, then get it mining, put in our personal Bitcoin address so that we can get it on our address on the pool that we choose, and then it should be able to fire it up, and then from there we could update the firmware, we could go ahead and overclock, etc, etc. Without further ado, let's go ahead and do the physical setup. Physical setup, same as a bitaxe, easy peasy. Physical setup, plug this guy into the wall, plug this one into here, plug the other end into your NerdQaxe, and fire it up. So let's blink and do it. Ready, go. Okay, so after we plugged it in, as you can see, the screen comes up and it says NerdAxe, and then it says configure Wi-Fi portal SSID, and it gives the SSID that we're going to connect to, NerdAxe _ 3841. By the way, this Bit Solo player has a nice little blue power light on there. That's a nice quality of life addition. So now we're going to take our mobile device, tablet, phone, laptop, whatever. We're going to switch the Wi-Fi connection. So we'll hit the Wi-Fi button, and then we'll search down, and we're, yep, right there, NerdAxe _ 3841. We're going to select that Wi-Fi network. We're going to wait till it connects, and then it should, checking the quality of your internet connection, not secured. It's going to ask connect only this time, always connect. I'm just going to connect only this time. And then we want to go to details, settings, and now it should be connected. Now once it's connected, I will open a web browser and I'll go to 192.168.4.1, and then that should get me into Axe OS. So let's give it a whirl, make sure it comes up. 192.168.4.1, and then we're gonna hit open, and boom, right like that, I got NerdQaxe. First try, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Sometimes the Wi-Fi won't connect instantly, and then I'll just go back in, I'll hit forget Wi-Fi network for the one I just connected to, and then I'll just let it show up, I'll reconnect, and then the second time it almost always goes in. So just a pro tip in case you run into any difficulties on connection. So once we're into here, we're going to hit the 3 little lines at the top to select the menu drop down, and we are going to select settings. So you got dashboard, swarm, settings. We're going to do settings, and then we're going to, and it says right here, Wi-Fi settings, host name, it goes at Express IF, and that's what a lot of bitaxes, NerdAxe, all those start with. So I'm gonna change the host name first and foremost. I'm gonna call this the NerdQaxe++, and then maybe you have to, if you have multiples, you wanna do something more specific, like where you got it, or just purple, or color coded, or however you need to code it so you know which is which. So we're gonna put NerdQaxe++ for my host name at the top line. Then for my Wi-Fi SSID, that's gonna be the one that I'm going to connect this device to. So I'm gonna name it whatever my Wi-Fi network is, make sure that it's exact, that it's case sensitive, and then the Wi-Fi password to go with that. And then once we do that, we are going to go ahead and put in our pool address. But first, let's put that in. Ready, go. Okay, pro tip that I should have mentioned before I started this setup. Before you actually start to set this thing up, the easiest thing to do, especially if you're using a phone, is to go get your Bitcoin address and your pool and port number, copy them to the clipboard. And then that way when you're doing the setup, because now remember you're connected to this guy and not your own Wi-Fi, so you can't go back out to the internet to grab it or your email or whatever, however you wanted to move it, so, or your application. So the easy way is to go ahead and pre-copy those to the clipboard. And so then when you get to this point, you just go ahead and put in your Stratum host, your port, and your Stratum user, which is your Bitcoin wallet dot your worker name. So in my case, I'll put my Bitcoin address dot NerdQaxe++, just so that it is consistent, and then that way on the pool I'll know which device I'm actually looking at. It defaults to publicpool.io, and if I wanted to use that, I could actually just leave it and the port number in there and just change my Bitcoin address in my wallet, and boom, it would work. But I'm gonna use CK Pool. That's one of my favorite. I use CK Pool, Lucky Monster, I use VKBit. I do use Public Pool, but I have a lot of devices, but I like CK Pool. That's the one I'm gonna use. And again, because I put it on my clipboard, I'll just go pick it up. And it says right here in the line under it, and with all bitaxes, it says do not include the Stratum plus TCP ://. In some miners, you actually put that in, so I'm gonna make sure to take that out. And then I'm gonna take the port out as well, because the port goes in the next line down, and I'll show you a screenshot of that in just a minute. And boom, 1, 2, 3. The port is 3333. And boom, just like that, we have it all in there. I'm gonna change my Bitcoin address again, and then I'm gonna put .NerdQaxe. So we'll leave out the ++ on this because I don't want to have it error out or something because of a symbol instead of a regular alphanumeric character. Okay, now once you've got all of that in, we're gonna leave right below it shows your mining settings. That's the clocks, your frequency, and your voltage. We're gonna leave that stock. We're going to go down to our fan, and the fan mode is set to manual and it's set to 100%. We're gonna change that to automatic right out the gate. Classic AFC, and then we are going to go down and we're going to hit save. Once we hit save, then we're going to hit the restart button right beside it. So we'll go ahead and show you what this all looks like. Okay, so now we're going to hit save right here. And now it says save successfully. Now we're gonna hit restart, and that should cause this guy to instantly reboot. And there it goes. Now it's on the splash screen and it says NerdQaxe, and we're gonna wait and we're gonna make sure that it connects. And it says loading initial config. Oh, boom. And just like that, we are connected. Now on our little screen up here, it will show us what the newly assigned IP address is. The IP address is the local IP address that your Wi-Fi network assigns to this. So my router assigned this one, the 192.168.1.167. Now, if I want to see how well this is mining the GUI, I would, of course, this just disconnected from this because now this is connected to our Wi-Fi network. So now if I want to go to that website, I reconnect my phone or go to my computer, open a browser, go to the new IP address, open that up, and I'm going to get to the same Axe OS. But this time I should be able to see hash rate, etc. All right, we are currently at 131 gigahash. Well, that would be pretty terrible if that's what it actually did. For the cost, but no, it is building. It's going to take a few minutes to build. We're going to let this build up and then we're going to come back. Boom, just like magic, she's up and mining. So quick caveat, once you plug this thing in and actually you go in and you set up all of your information in you connect it to the Wi-Fi and you go set up all your information, your pool and all that fun thing, it takes a long time for this to spool up clear to full hash rate. A bitaxe gamma, those things take 30 seconds to a minute and they're up. This thing took 4 or 5 minutes to slowly build all the way up, and now it is showing 4339 gigahash, so 4.3 terahash, 4.4 terahash. And then I went to the website, the pool website, and verified that it is indeed hashing away on there as well. So let's check the power usage. This is actually using 95.5 watts at the wall. And of course, just because, say, this was using 80 watts, you lose some power across your power supply due to inefficiency, due to heat loss, etc. So actually at the wall, it's using 95 watts. What's it show in the software? The software is showing 4.3 terahash, and it is showing 190 accepted shares, 3 rejected. We'll take a screenshot real quick of that. Then it has the nice hash rate chart. Looks like it's plugging away. So it's showing that it's using 81.3 watts, but it's really using 95.1. So it's a little bit of difference. And that's kind of normal with any of these miners, because they'll tell you what the device is using, not the total power draw. ASIC temperatures at 57. The fan speed I put back to 100% for right now on manual. I'll go back and put it on automatic to make sure how it'll perform. I haven't messed with the overclocking at all. Does it show the power heat? Frequency measured ASIC temp, the VR temp right there. So it does show a VR temp of 61.6. So if the ASIC temp is 57 and the VR temp is 61, and this room is about 80 Fahrenheit right now, that means there is room overhead for this to be overclocked. If this thing is running at 4.5 currently, I'm guessing this can easily be pushed up to 5 terahash without any additional modifications, just stock with bumping up the frequency and bumping up the core voltage. Of course, you're going to use more power and you could affect your efficiency, but that's kind of the fun. That's kind of the fun of these kind of devices, the bitaxe. It's the tinkering, it's the open source, it's the constant. They constantly have updates, new firmwares, new features added into the GUI. Yeah, I'm a big bitaxe truther, love the bitaxe. And so now let's talk about how much these things cost, what kind of profitability, and whether or not you should buy them, of course. So let's go over to Bitcoin Merch's site. Currently, the cost from Bitcoin Merch right now is $549.99. Of course, we'll make sure to put a link down in the description plus a discount code. Make sure to use my link. It gives me a small kickback if so. But yeah, so what does this earn? What's the profitability on one of these? You could pool mine with one of these and earn pennies a day and actually make profits per day. But if you're paying for electric, you're probably making no profits, right? Because the big boy ASICs are made for Bitcoin mining nowadays. If this was around 10 years ago, this thing would have been the amazing device of all amazing devices. But I digress, that's not the case. So realistically, what will this earn you? Probably the same as these small miners will earn you, because it's really designed for a solo miner. It's just a big boy solo miner. And once you're getting into the realm of paying $500 for a solo miner, you could put it on different coins. Bitcoin Cash have a higher chance of hitting blocks, returning your investment, and maybe that's the play here. Maybe you set this on Bitcoin Cash, and within 2-3 years you get lucky and you hit a block, and then or maybe within a year you hit a block and you're paying the device. Me personally, I'm running almost all of my solo miners except maybe a couple. I got 2 of them on Bitcoin Cash. The rest are all on Bitcoin. We're going for broke. We're either going to hit a block someday, or we're just going to waste a whole bunch of electricity on the way. But if we hit that block, think about it. There's a chance. There's a chance to hit that block. 3.125 Bitcoin at $100 and some thousand per Bitcoin. What if you wake up one day and you have $400,000 of Bitcoin in your account or in your wallet? Man, I would be yelling yippee yippee. You'd see me all over social media going, I told you so. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up. We've got it set up. Maybe we'll do some follow-up videos on this where we'll do some tweaking and tuning. Maybe we'll do some comparison with some of our other Bitcoin solo miners, because we have a whole army nowadays. But what about you? Tell us your thoughts on the NerdQaxe Plus Plus, or the NerdQaxe Plus, or the NerdQaxe Super Hex QX Plus Ultra. Yeah, there's a lot of different variants of these things nowadays, but Tell us what your thoughts are down below in the comments. Tell us if this is a good idea, if these are a waste of money, or if these are just really cool technology. I think that about wraps it up for today. If you're new to mining, need some help, make sure to join the Misfit Mining Discord. Always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out. And if you liked the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. We want to say thank you to